Beauty against Belmont. Was that Belmont? It wasn't. No, it wasn't Belmont. It was a league match.
Reading.
It was against Reading on senior night. Yes. So many fun games, Alex. It's tough to keep track of them.
Yeah, it's been a fun season to follow. This team is resilient. They're deep. They're experienced. They're skillful. Looking forward to following them in the tournament as well.
Good patience from Alex Burke. His man tries to go around, and good cover by Connolly as Burke dropped back in to cover that after the heavy touch from the Woburn strike or wing there. Good to see. It looks like the defense in what we saw against the Dearborn Stem was the one sort of lapse where number 4, who had played an excellent half at back, then came up and not surprisingly made the. I think it was Rick Barros for Dearborn Stem scored the goal after a great run on his own, but after one sort of lapse from Arlington. But good to see them sort of covering for each other. Sort of seems like they've got their rotations down. And now Arlington sort of on the counter. Alex Burke taking the throw just inside the Arlington half. Resets to Connolly.
Spy Ponder staying very disciplined in that back 4 with Johnny Peng not venturing forward. So they're content to attack with 5, and so far that's been enough. They've had several good chances.
Good leave by Naylor off his heel to set up Peng with some room in the middle, and then broken up by the Tanners' defense. Rohan McAuliffe on the far side takes it, plays it back to Nolan Koopman to reset. Naylor settles, and Peng scoops it up, reset to Connolly in the back. Connolly sends it up, and deflected by the Tanners back to their center mid, but picked up by Quincy Cotter. So dangerous here. We've got 4-on-4, 4-on-5, 5 Tanners back. Tanner defender went down, slide tackle, cleared it, and Naylor gets around his man, sends it back in, across to Peter Clordy. Heavy touch, gets it wide, brings it back, and resets to Connolly, who goes wide to Burke. And here's Alex Burke cutting into the middle. He's got time.
Numbers in the middle.
Got space, kept it on the ground and just in front of Quincy. But Quincy fights and gets that and then is shoved in the back. So we've got 35 yards out. We'll have a free kick. Looks like Naylor's coming in to take it maybe. The last time he had this, maybe about 10 yards closer to the net, he tried to chip it over the line, and it seemed to work, but it was a little heavy. So see what Naylor does this time.
Let's keep an eye on the matchup between Quincy Cotter, 23 from Arlington, and 11 from Woburn. There were some words exchanged there after that heavy tackle. And I know from watching Quincy all these years, he does have a bit of grit and sandpaper to his game. So let's just keep an eye on that situation.
So it looks like Arlington setting up to go far post on this. We'll see if Naylor goes for a strike direct at the goal. And they leave it for Burke, who goes across. Done. Beautiful set. Gideon's there in the back, but it just bounces off his head, over his head, and it's a goal kick for the Tanners. But well taken by Burke right there over the Woburn line. Arlington timed it well, just a little too high. Gideon couldn't quite get it back down. So Gideon playing a little closer in case there's that short goal kick from the Tanners, which there is. So applies a little bit of pressure.
Pressing with 5 now, and they've got almost 2 lines, 5 and then a big space and then 5.
And then a big space of 5 as well. Yep, lots of space in the middle for either team at the moment. And Burke sort of shielding. Let's see how he plays this one. Scoops it up, plays it back to Shea.
Well collected. Had many options there. That's got to be unnerving as a defender running after the ball.
Toward your own goal.
Yeah, toward your own goal, and you kind of have to have eyes all around your head and see where the other player is. And do you pass it back? Or do you try to control it? Do you try to beat the guy? A lot of respect for players that can do that well.
Nicely done right there. Peter's good, and here he comes. He's got one touch. Great tackle from the Woburn defender. Peter trying to draw the foul there. Looks like if he had maybe taken a shot off of an earlier touch, looks like he might have landed on his broken arm a little bit. He's going off the field, I think. Hopefully nothing too serious for Peter. Hopefully that's looks like Dennis Keneally's in.
I think that was a planned substitution.
Yeah. And Peter loses his shin guard on his way off the field. So I think that's our tally. We might be double digits tonight by the end of this. So Naylor sends it far over everybody into the other corner. So it looks like throw-in for Woburn deep in their own end. So
And
Arlington gets a break here.
Speaking of Cloherty's, Tom Cloherty over there, we can have Cloherty Cam. Handling the ball distribution over there, always very, very skillfully handled by one of the parents of the Arlington team.
Consummate professionals right there. And Tom looks like he remembered his running shoes today, maybe, and his sunglasses. So he was ready. He was prepared. Gideon takes a strike from far, but that's easy for the Woburn keep to handle.
If I may critique, he does have somewhat of a different style than Dennis Conley, where Dennis really just kind of overcomes the problem with sheer will and hustle. It looks like Tom might be taking a bit more of a cerebral approach to the situation.
And it's tough to compete with someone like Dennis Connolly on that far touchline. It's always a challenge for the level of precision, effort that he brings to the game. But I do agree. Tom sort of brings that sort of California cool vibe with you. He's ready for it. Unsuspecting, he surprises you with how much he's ready for it. Arlington crosses. Rohan from Burke and picks it up. Looks like we might have Andres warming up on the to sub in soon for Gideon, or maybe some transition. Gideon go back. Nice collection by Quincy there. Quincy tried to deliver a pass, but gets his own rebound. But Woburn defender clears that, or shields well.
Well shielded, number 5, Kyle Silva, playing holding mid, junior. Good stout player.
And Sam Neal making a run.
Somebody who you want on your team when things might be getting a little rough.
And there has been a history of these games getting a little rough. The Woburn Arlington games, a little chippy, as kids might say these days. It has not been unknown to get a little chippy, but so far seems like a clean game both sides, and hopefully we keep it up and play some good soccer. With 17 to go in the first half. Arlington looking to get a ball in the back of the net after 2 or 3 really superb chances. Good step by Koopman, picked up by Naylor, and collected by Quincy, but broken up by number 5.
Yeah, Kyle Silva again.
Good take by Burke there to interrupt the crossing pass from Woburn.
Sun came into play there. Did you see that, Josh? Like Sam kind of thought he knew where the ball was, and then looked right into the sun, and last thing you know, the ball goes out of bounds.
And if I look at this, Alex, we're looking at 5 yard almost. The shadows are almost 5 yards long, and I'm sure if somebody were maybe even longer. I'm sure if somebody knew more about it, they would know what that meant. But I think that there's something about the angle of the sun and the length of the shadow here that we can probably surmise. So potential handball, but no call from the ref off Shea's punt. Jonathan collects, looks for his options, and sends it back the other way. Looks like Rohan's going to collect this off his head, and there is a 25-yard header from Rohan. So game kind of a little lull at the moment with ball sort of going back and forth between the keepers, back and forth in the midfield, and looks like Jacob Naylor's getting his first rest. Dennis Keneally switching fields. Rand Markovsky coming in for him, and Nate Dobro into the game for the first time, as well as Johnny Pang is dropping back.
And Horace Kennedy there making an appearance.
And Horace is in the middle here. So Johnny Pang, Aiden Connolly, Nolan Koopman, and Rohan keeping the back line as Horace plays mid with Nate Dobro and Quincy. Gideon staying up top, and Dennis Keneally and Rand Markovsky playing the wings.
Johnny Pang with a nice win.
And Rand Markovsky, great step there by the Woburn defender to break up. That was a near beautiful entry from Rand into Gideon. Johnny gets it to the middle to Quincy. Quincy up the line to Rand, who cuts to the middle.
They're surrounded by Woburn players over here on this side. If the switch would serve them well, and there it goes. And
the Woburn defender steps in to break that up, and Dobro collects right in the midfield. One thing that's impressed me so far about Arlington, the the quality of the passing game, the balls on the ground, 2 players in sort of that middle third. Right now, beautiful entry from Quincy, splits defenders, and it's a little bobble right there, and it's not cleared. Well played by Quincy. And as you said, really grown into this, gaining confidence. That was a brilliant pass that threaded between 2 defenders, and then his physical challenge as that ball ended up being cleared by Woburn. So it looks like we got a timeout called. Or ref is calling. I guess the ball is ball seemed dead or something to the ref or one of the players. So got a substitution on the ball.
He did the scientific bounce it twice and rub it test, and it seems to have passed.
And Shea throws it into Rohan. But real quality passing from Arlington, sort of real controlled. They haven't seemed to be rushing and really sort of playing it well for the most part. It looks like Woburn may be sort of reading this and taking some earlier steps and getting to that ball. But for the most part, Arlington doing a really nice job with the possession. And
that was a beautiful pass right there.
Rand really sort of making some connections as well. Dennis Keneally covers for Rohan, keeps it in. Well played by Keneally. Back to Rohan, who's got a little space. Gets it to the middle of the Dobro. Dobro looking across his back and sends Rand very deep. Maybe a little touch too deep, but Rand keeps it in. Well played. Cuts back to the middle. Heavy touch. Left foot. Can't get it off his left foot, but there's Johnny Pang. One touches it into the middle.
Up into the air.
And Rand settles. And that's clear, but picked up by Pang, who keeps it in. But no, here we go. St. Pierre making a run. He's got speed against Koopman. Johnny Pang now. And right there, Harris picks it up.
Nice play by the attacker for Woburn, but he had 7 of his guys were back. So that'll run out of bounds. So maybe they're looking for on this left side. So we haven't called Rohan's name very much, and that's not a bad thing. That just means that the play is not originating over there. He's not being required to put out fires over there. A lot of play over here on this near side from our vantage point. And it looks like particularly dangerous pair of players coming off for Woburn now, 20 and 11.
So Deuce St. Pierre, who's been sort of their offensive generator so far, he looks like he's off, and then number 11, Joao Victor da Silva, is also out for the Tanners. So looks like I think they might have just subbed 4 players. So sort of a fresh line for Woburn. Arlington also with a looks like they may have brought in a substitution, or Sam Neal came in for Gideon. So Sam playing the striker position right now.
And Jacob Naylor back in for Quincy.
Naylor nearly avoids a collision right there. That was impressive. Nice little take by Dober off his head. Tried to turn, and that's broken up. But Arlington throw. So again, 13 minutes. Tanner so far doing a nice job, even with three very, very solid efforts from the Ponders, including a shot that deflected off the post and was on Keegan's foot right in the open net. Tanner's, playing defense. Not other than those opportunities. Looks like they've sort of collected themselves on defense a little bit, dropping their guys back. Naylor sends it across right to Sam Neal, and it's deflected wide. Picked up by Rand, and looks like we might have offsides. It looks like Rand might have been called for offside right there.
And the Spy Ponders might want to strike while the iron's hot here. We have 13 or so minutes left with this advantage of having the sun at their back.
And sort of looking at the scores, the Tanners, Alex, this season seems to be offense has been their greatest weakness. They only have 11, similar to Arlington last season. They only have 11 goals for, whereas they're facing 25 goals against. So so right now, looks like not sure if who's been scoring the most for the Tanners based on what we've seen. I think we could sort of surmise, the number 20 or or
Yeah,
number
Saint
11
Pierre.
and St. Pierre and number 11 De Silva probably have contributed significantly to that. But again, the 25 against is also slightly misleading because they've had a lot of games that have been a little bit lopsided. So they've had sort of a lot of like 3-0 games against Winchester, 4-0 games. Recently, in their last game, they just lost to Winchester 4-0. And I think they might have lost to Winchester 3-0. So right there's 7 goals. But against Lex, one of the top in terms of power rankings, the top team in the Middlesex League at the moment at 18. I think Lex is standing at 18 currently. They lost 4-3 to Lex, so we're able to score. We're able to, but they just also weren't. They just got scored on four times. But to be able to score 3 times against a team like Lexington shows
that's quite a feat. Yes.
There is some firepower for Woburn. So Arlington again. I think the clock has not been moving. Noticing here, it's stuck at 13:50, but it's a situation where if Woburn can hold Arlington and there's a slip from Rohan, I think Woburn could come into this second half feeling pretty good, and with the sun playing a factor, might be able to give the Ponders some real trouble.
Well, they're in the process of giving them real trouble. It's a 0-0 game, 13 or so minutes left in the first half. Good chances for both teams. Arlington hit a post, and
Woburn with four corners
game.
Back and forth.
Yep.
And here we go up the line. Great dish by Rand to the foot of Johnny. Johnny got 3 defenders, and it's broken up by the center mid. But here's Dennis Keneally. And almost fouled, but the ref's not going to give that one in the box. That's a
he turned to ask for it, but I don't think he's cynical enough. If he'd fallen down and flopped around, maybe he would have gotten the call there. But it wasn't enough to knock him off his feet, so not enough for a penalty.
That's definitely I think at this point in the game, that's a hard sell right there for a referee. And again, listening to the broadcast, it was interesting too. Here we were talking a little bit about this again in the Dearborn game, and then your co-commentator for the beginning of the JV game against the Burke sounds like he's a referee and was saying he really is not a fan of the 2-ref format because it makes offside a near impossible call, which makes a lot of sense. And it I'm sure it's a budget sort of thing, but it would be nice to see MIAA supply 3 refs for this. I think it would, especially for the playoffs. I'm not sure if they do for the playoffs. It would make a huge difference in the quality of the refereeing, just because it's a very difficult semifinals and finals. We get 3 refs. Producer Raj is letting us know, and so right here, Woburn player dribbles it out. So it does make a difference, and I guess MIA recognizes that. And for the most part, I feel like refs do a pretty good job. Great throw, as always, from Aiden Connolly. Gets it over to Sam Neal, and good shield by the Woburn defender. Goes shoulder to shoulder with Sam, and let's see which way this goes. It goes Arlington's way. So Aiden Connolly coming in to get sort of a semi-corner kick off the throw-in here.
Yeah, this one should wind up around the penalty spot. Arlington not with significant numbers in there.
Yeah, interesting.
Up comes Johnny Peng.
And that one goes deep, and it's sort of bobbled around the ground. Naylor picks it up.
That is the danger zone over there, too, because that's looking directly back at the sun. As you can see the players, shielding their eyes.
It will be interesting. With 5 minutes to go here in the first, it will clearly play an impact on Shea in the second half. Naylor draws the foul about 25 yards out. Looks like he might have sold that one a little bit.
Draws the foul.
He definitely drew that one up. But he gets it, and this is a very dangerous spot for him to take.
This is the chance right here. We keep harping on it, but if you're down on the field and you're looking directly into the sun, which the goalkeeper is right now, this would be a great one to put high.
High near post right here. And Naylor, we've seen him with the foot right here, so be curious to see if he does it. And he goes, and great save right there. Deflects it down wide.
Good save, Jonathan.
And great take by Naylor. I thought that was actually going in. I was surprised that did not. It looked like from our vantage point that it might have gone in. And Jonathan able to sort of dive off to his left, get both hands on it.
Then Kyle Silva wins the ball and earns the kick. So congratulations to those two young men.
Woburn plays the free kick across. Naylor putting some pressure on. Rohan breaks up the entry, and that ball's up. Koopman off his head, gets it back, but picked up by Woburn. So sort of an interesting feel to this game. It's I can't sense if there's if Arlington may be frustrated with the lack of goals so far. So they've not shown it yet. They seem to be playing patiently and trying to earn each strike that they can. Sam Neill gets up, and Harris almost picks that off.
Well, at the risk of being premature to talk about it, we were speaking in the last game about one thing that we have not seen is Arlington burying opponents. They seem to get a lead, and they've had the fortune or the fortitude or the character to be able to get goals late in games, and it's looking like it might come down to that again.
It definitely seems like it might be coming down to a second half strike. With notwithstanding the opportunities that Arlington has had, we've not seen Keegan Maxwell back in the game. Wonder if coach is sort of saving him for the second half here, which would make sense. Keegan with some excellent opportunities and definitely showed his ability to get around the Woburn back line. So we'll be curious to see what the Woburn coach sort of discusses with his team at half and how they come out as well. With 2.5 to go, we have a corner kick coming up from Woburn. So this half definitely not over yet, and lots of opportunities here. So we saw last time this situation, same spot, 4 corner kicks in a row from Woburn, from the Tanners. So curious to see if Arlington's able to clear this. Looking for number 8, who had a clear open header. Looks like Harris is literally on him, hip to hip, not letting him go at all. And there's a big header that's still in play, and that's cleared to Sam Neill. Sam Neill gets around one, but can't get around the last guy, and that should be a goal kick for Arlington.
Nice definitive play by the Woburn defender there, not playing around, just going up and taking a swing at it.
So Quincy Cotter coming in for the last 2 minutes. I forgot to start my watch. I'm not sure if you started your timer, Alex.
I did not.
So let's call it maybe we got 1:45 to go. Johnny Peng, pressure, and he loses, but Dobro collects, breaks it up, and now Aiden Connolly steps in. And Woburn keeping on the pressure here in the final minutes. So these final minutes going to Woburn in terms of momentum and effort. Great take by Dobro, but it slips on the field, something that we have seen a lot this season. And it's off the heel, so there's Quincy right here, who's had a couple of excellent passes tonight. And great delivery from Rand, and Quincy's got options right here. So last minute, and he broken up by number 7 for Woburn.
They've got time for a heave here. Looks like they're content to build it up from the midfield.
Should be about a minute or less in this half as we both forgot to start our watches. So Naylor sends it wide to Keneally, who's got speed, and he's got some space, picks it up, and trips over the ball a little bit, but picks it up again, manages to keep, and Woburn responds, and now they're coming up the wing and gets it behind Rohan. Great ball up the line, but Nolan Koopman, great little touch by Koopman to Rohan there, who delivers to Dobro in the middle, and now they're off to Rand on the far side off a great cross. Rand brings it into the middle, delivers right onto the foot of Quincy. Quincy gets around his man, but picked up by number 5. And Nate Dobro picks it up. Dobro, and here's Naylor, takes a shot from far, and that sails over the net about 1.5 feet, 2 feet over the net. That's a great spot for Naylor to take that strike. Nothing like to see him take that. I'm not sure how other fans would feel, but knowing Naylor and the weapon his left foot has been this season, real happy to see him take that shot, especially as seconds later the half winds down.
All right, Josh, I'm going to take a quick break over halftime. I'll be back. I just want to say hi to my friends down here.
Excellent.
I'll be right back to join you in a few minutes.
Excellent. And so first half comes to a close. We've got the 0-0 tie right now between the Arlington Spy Ponders and the Woburn Tanners. So Arlington, couple of great opportunities, including a last-minute strike by Jacob Naylor, are going to be playing into the sun this second half. So it'll be a very curious, interesting matchup for them in the second half. And joined in the booth now, special guest, a guy I've spent some time on a soccer field with, and he has contributed tremendously to the overall community of soccer players here in Arlington, including 2 sons on the varsity team. His son Kai, a graduate last year, now a freshman at Cornell, and his son Luke, a senior this year. Peter Headland, how's it going?
Josh Katzman, thank you for that introduction. And I have to tell you, I have to thank you and is it Alex?
Alex has been up here a lot.
For doing the announcing. And I listened to one of the games and watched it, one that I missed. And I have to tell you, you guys are pretty good, good with the commentary. But I remember I did it once. I did a pretty lousy job, I think, but you guys are much better. So well done, and thanks for taking the time.
It's been, I discovered last year, Peter, when our boys were playing together. It's, I don't know if you get the same feeling. You're a pretty. I feel like we had a very chill, relaxed vibe on our team. A couple of games when the boys were little. I might have gotten a little upset with some. There was one game in Needham that I remember in particular that there was about 10 minutes of stoppage time, and we ended up with a tie. I couldn't believe it, but I would get so fired up in the stands. I really enjoyed watching from up here because it helped bring the blood pressure down a little bit.
Right, you're a little more distance. I think you've been fair and balanced, and it's been a pretty good season, pretty fun season for you to be doing this. Boys have had a good run here. I think they've got maybe 10 game or what's their unbeaten streak now?
Oh, I think they've won. I think they've definitely won their last 3, I believe.
Okay.
So they do have. I think it's been a while since they've lost for sure. They're
right.
10 or 11, 2 and 3.
Right. So and I think there's a string of ties in there. So I think they might have a 10 game unbeaten streak going into this. But we'll see. You saw in that first half they had some great chances and looks at the goal, but that's the game of soccer. It's just so hard to put it in the net, right?
It's incredibly hard to do it, and it will be even more interesting this half. We are noting last home game of the regular season, and the angle of the sun is going to play. They're going to be playing right into the sun, so they'll be looking back, might be able to see the balls coming to them a little bit, but you turn, the goal is going to be, and Shea's going to be looking straight into the sun as well.
I know. I think the goalie, the Woburn goalie, first half did a good job with that. Those are some tough balls when it's right up in the sun, and he kind of held his own pretty well. Shea had a great stop on the header off the corner.
Yep.
That was right on target.
That was right on target, and the Woburn keeper who has played with a lot of these boys, actually. I've learned with a lot of the juniors.
Yeah.
He came up with a huge save on Jacob's free kick as well.
Yeah,
it looked like to me that was going to the back of the net.
That was on target. Yep.
And so, Peter, you are also in a unique situation where you've got Luke, who's going through the college process, but as a father of 2 kids who are now freshmen in college, what's it like with 2/3 of your children out of the house right now?
Definitely 2/3 of an empty nest. Definitely quiet around the house. Although we still I went to Costco and I got 48 eggs. Luke is really into eating protein and eggs and lifting weights, that kind of stuff. So But I remember we used to go get 6 gallons of milk at a time. We don't have to do that anymore.
Milk is the big thing. Cooper was
Yeah.
was steak and
Yeah.
milk, like whole gallons of whole
I
milk,
know,
and that is the big thing that we thought our grocery bill would come down a fair amount,
Right.
but it really
Hasn't? Right.
I eat a lot of eggs as well. But yeah, it's the gallons of whole milk and just the steaks that
Right.
Coop would make when he
Right.
came home at 10, 11 o'clock,
Right.
like Monday through Friday. So, and how are Annika and Kai doing in college?
They're doing well. Just visited Annika at George Washington. They had family weekend and headed next weekend to see Kai. So yeah,
That's great. It's been fun to sort of hear from a lot of the boys who've
Yeah.
graduated and come back,
Right.
even not like older than our boys who played
Right.
last year. So definitely speaks well to what Coach Yazio has done with this program.
Yeah, right.
And what you did as president of the Arlington Soccer Club, building up soccer throughout Arlington's, and I think really sort of creating that atmosphere and the attitude that, yes, like we want to work hard on the field, but it's also there's a lot more than just the wins and losses.
A lot more to that. And the motto of the soccer club is keeping it fun. And it might sound a little too straightforward, but the longer I've been involved with it, it's helpful to keep that in mind, right? Because it's so easy to worry about, is your kid going to make this team? Is he going to be this position? How much playing time is he going to get? All those things. And then the more you worry about that, the less sometimes fun it is for your kid, usually, and the less they get out of it. So there's lots of opportunities to play soccer at a whole bunch of different levels. And you know what? They get to college, and the vast majority of these kids are playing for fun. They're playing maybe club soccer, intramurals, just kind of kicking the ball out on the quad. A handful will play in college, but I think the goal is really to develop a love of a sport that allows you to get outside, stay active, and you can play or watch watch games on TV or ref, and wherever you go in the world, find people that like this game and help to have that part of your healthy lifestyle. So
well, and maybe one day they'll come and be the boys varsity soccer commentators for ACMi.
Right. We can only hope.
We can only hope. But it was fun to hear. A couple weeks ago, we saw not Luke Hedlund. We saw Luke Purrington
Luke P,
and Rowan. They came back
good.
up in the booth, and they're both playing some club soccer. So it's been really fun to see how they've continued even after their high school careers. So,
yeah, and I think for some players at this level, I remember you look at these players out there, boy, they're so good, and they must all be playing in college. But at the college level, the commitment is so steep, and the teams are so hard to make. And I think what a lot of players find is that club teams are still very competitive,
very
great
competitive.
soccer. But, like Luke was saying, 2 practices a week and a game on the weekend, so you still get to enjoy being a college student. And,
Well, and Barney, like speaking to the competitiveness,
Right.
Barney, the sophomore at Michigan, was saying 400 kids were trying out for 6 spots at Michigan, and there are 400 kids who were basically could have played any school if they wanted, but went to Michigan. They're top tier soccer players. So you're looking at 400
for 6 spots. That's for the club team.
That's for the club team.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That is for the club team.
But you can always play intramural and play with your friends. Is Cooper playing at all at UC Boulder?
He is not playing.
Yeah.
He's playing a lot of basketball, but
there you
because
go.
of basketball, his first day on campus managed to completely destroy his ankle. So
Oh my gosh.
he went to the meetings for club soccer.
Right.
And unfortunately, he talked to the coach.
Yeah.
Sort of one of those things as you move out and
Right.
you're on your own. He took
Yeah.
it upon himself, talked to the coach, and didn't feel ready to
Right.
be able to
Yeah.
give it 100%. And
Right.
the coach said, "Hey, if you're coming here, we're looking to win a national club championship."
Oh my gosh. Maybe be careful what you wish for. Maybe it's a good thing he can enjoy his freshman year and do some other things. So Well, I'll pass it back to Alex here. And thanks again for both of you for doing this. You do a good job, and we really appreciate it.
Well, thanks, Peter. And this is an interesting thing. We've got the clock going. Hopefully they're going to reset it. The clock going, but the play hasn't started. And an interesting little take here. Woburn just launches it at Shea at the beginning of the
I think that
they're trying to score.
They know about
The sun.
Yes.
I think they might have been listening to our broadcast and figured out they might have be taking a chance. So it was very interesting, sort of 15, 20 seconds clicked off the clock before they took that strike. Now Arlington responds. And good to see Peter Clorty back in, so it doesn't appear any harm to Peter. And this could be dangerous. Looks like I think Johnny Pang just went down. You know he's not going to go down with for any sort of reason. It looked like maybe hit a knee.
He's clutching his face, it looked like.
Hoping nothing serious. Maybe he's tried to get up, came down.
That would be a big miss for the Spy Ponders if he was out for any time.
So it looks like it might be sort of a quad, hoping maybe a bruise or something. He went down pretty hard, so he's up with the help of the trainer Sam, and it appears to be walking okay. Hopefully, just sort of like one of the dead legs, kind of maybe a knee to the quad right there. Woburn throwing, they reset in the back. And great pressure from Keegan, and he gets the turnover to Quincy right in the middle. And there's a bobble from Woburn. Jacob Naylor takes one touch, two touch, couldn't get around the second man. And now here we go. So Woburn, Duke St. Pierre appears to be back in. Not sure if it's Duke or Deuce. And Dobro starting the second half here. Dobro resets to Koopman, gets it wide to Rohan. So Rohan going around. Have not seen Fernando Barrientos yet in this game. And there's Keegan right here back in the game to start. So we'll see how Keegan does this half. Hopefully Keegan, he's looking to make amends for those. He wants to put one in the back of the net after what he had this first half. And
Josh, you spoke with Coach Iazio before the game. Did he point out any injuries or illnesses that we should be aware of?
No injuries or illnesses. So it seems like the Ponders are healthy, and everyone is sort of available for the game tonight. And Woburn with a long send, and that's going to go a little too far. And so Arlington throw deep in their end, and look at Tom Clorty. Look at that. He's getting the ball. Not sure if we have another ball. Maybe we after the Deflategate scandal. So it looks like Nate Lucian from the far end, the second half of it. Nate Lucian also helping out on the ball possession. So a little time taken there from the game, but good pressure by Burke. And Koopman clears, but not out. So that ball is just up. So off the head of St. Pierre, and goal kick.
I did see Dennis Conley in the crowd over there taking the night off.
Dennis Conley,
soaking up the beautiful weather and watching the game.
After the effort on Saturday, it's reasonable that Dennis might need a recover for a little bit.
I'll say.
And here's Koopman, sends it up, and Sam Neal, he's got the step on everybody right here, and gets around. No call from the ref, but Sam Neal off the left foot gets it into the middle, and Jonathan dives forward to prevent the streaking Clorty from getting his foot on it. Well played by Sam Neal, but sort of fighting off 1-2 guys, manages to get that ball, dangerous ball from Arlington, and good take by Quincy. Oh, he read it just over his foot, though. Quincy was on that all the way.
Arlington has numbers here. They should come up with this ball.
And look at that. Good reaction by Quincy to get back and pick that ball up. Sam Neal taking the throw in. David on this near touch doing the ball work.
He does a fantastic job.
And he's, I'm going to guess, going to be here for the girls' game as well. Nice to see the girls' team here sort of getting ready for their game, but also cheering the boys on. Sam Neal keeps it in. Had a sort of a nice sort of backspin bounce on it. And good take by Dobro. little heavy, but he keeps it, and should be a free kick right here for Arlington. And Naylor's lining up. No, Naylor's moving in. Who's going to be?
This is Sam Neal territory.
Sam Neal about 20, 25 yards out.
With the right foot, the curl that he can get gives him more options.
So Shea playing up high as well. We saw Nolan Koopman nearly score on Saturday from the Arlington 20 over the head of the Dearborn stem keeper. Just missed to the left of the goal. Sam Neal tries to go under the wall, but the wall does its job, and they deliver up to St. Pierre. St. Pierre delivers out wide, and back to St. Pierre, and dangerous, and here we go. And great save by Shea in the sun off to his right. Good take that I would argue potentially, other than the header, that might actually have been Woburn's best opportunity of the night so far.
And just a great play by the Woburn striker, St. Pierre. He was on his own up there. He received the ball, held off a couple of Arlington defenders, and in spite of a numerical disadvantage, he found an open man who got a shot off. So just a great play by that young man, and off we go. Jacob Naylor with the ball in the midfield.
And it looks like number 13, Carlin Dizio for Woburn is the guy who the wing who had the take on Shea right there. So another player to keep an eye on. So it looks like that combo of St. Pierre and Dizio right there, dangerous for Woburn right now. Keegan Maxwell tried to center it back along the ground. Good idea trying to get it onto the foot of somebody, but it's delivered to Woburn. And Aiden Connolly sends it back up, and it is going out off of, looks like Arlington. So Woburn throw at the half.
Good step by Alex Burke there. He didn't get the ball, but he forced the errant pass, and the 50-50 ball went Woburn's way, resulting in the possession they have now.
Woburn resets. Pressure from Maxwell gets the turnover right in midfield for Dobro, who's got a little bit of space now, and good little delivery, but no, it's behind Quincy and in front of Naylor. Rohan and Dizio. Dizio to St. Pierre. St. Pierre delivers. That should be a little much, and goal kick for Arlington. Dizio tracks that down for David, helping out with the sideline.
Those shadows are getting up to about 12, 13 yards now.
So I was interested. I was curious how quickly those shadows would sort of go. So it actually looks like Shea might have about 10 more minutes, and then potentially is going to be in shadow also. Nice ball from Naylor, little too close to, and Sam Neal, trying to fight, frustrated with himself that he couldn't keep that in, but good work by Sam Neal to get around that shield and trying to get the entry pass in.
Sam Naylor would be a hell of a player.
Sam Naylor would be left and right foot. Take any free kick from anywhere. 10 to 30 yards out. That would be a dangerous player right there. Sam Naylor. Great great goal kick from Woburn that goes pretty much the length of the field, and Koopman heads it back to Shea. It is a lovely night. We got the autumnal colors as well, Alex. Just looking across at the foliage here, some real pretty scene here in Arlington. I'm sure Shea not appreciating the golden hue of the light at the moment as it's right in his eyes, but
it's been spectacular this whole October, and on a personal note, I always pay attention to the weather in October, as I was married in October 19 years ago.
Mazel tov.
Thank you very much. Shout out Marie. And it rained for 13 straight days in that year, including the day of we got married, but then the sun came out as we were leaving the church. So
that's a strong omen for many years.
Indeed. And
great cover by Connolly to interrupt the entry to St. Pierre. St. Pierre looking maybe a little gassed.
He's been working hard.
He has been working hard.
To be the lone striker is a very hard job.
Looks like he may be limping as well. Keegan Maxwell gets it off his head, picked up by Jonathan. So Keegan Maxwell continuing to work. Aiden Connolly chatting right there with St. Pierre. St. Pierre looks like he might have been limping, so we'll see if he sort of tweaked some part there. And nothing over
Climbed
the
the
top.
ladder over Jacob there.
And no call from the ref. So interesting to see how tight the refs will call this this second half, because we have seen I think the Reading game, for example, not a lot of calls in the first half, and then we saw sort of a pickup in the number of calls in the second. So good to see Johnny Pang returning to the game. So that's a good sign for Arlington. Subbing out Alex Burke. We'll see how how Johnny does, and keep an eye on how he's moving.
Yeah, Coach Iadzio trying to find the key to unlock this Woburn team. Arlington Spy Ponders have had they had a batch of good chances in the first half, but it's been a midfield type game for the most part ever since then. And
this half so far, Woburn with some solid effort, and Arlington looking to get a goal kick, but the Woburn player keeps it in. So refs seem to be letting a lot of things slide early in the second half here, and picked up in the middle by Quincy Cotter, who's got
that's a good find right there.
And
Arlington floods forward with numbers.
And overlaps on
right
Sam Neal, who delivers behind Clardy, so slows down the attack a little bit. But Arlington with 6 guys moving up. Good little chip by Naylor, but it doesn't get past. But Johnny Pang right there to scoop it up. So Johnny Pang shielding, moving back. Turns to the line, delivers to the middle. Good little touch by Keegan, but it's picked up by the Woburn defense and just sort of lobbed in. Shea able to scoop that. So again, the Shadows have reached the goal line right now. So again, just see how long it takes to reach Shea's height at this point.
Nicely found.
Naylor slowing things down a little bit. Cuts to the middle. Little tug of the shirt, and then crosses far to Rohan, but delivered behind. So turnover, sort of a deep in the Arlington end turnover here. So see if Woburn is able to capitalize. Shea holding the hand up, so still the sun is definitely a factor right now, especially looking this way. Dobro sends it out, so repeat for Woburn. Number 4 is taking the throw. Delivered in to Dizio, broken up by Neal, and picked up by Quincy. Quincy delivers to the middle,
space.
And look at that, lots of space for Clardy to make a run. He delivers to Pang, who's making a great run. Drew his defender in. And that's a miss hit right there by Woburn. Sam Neal, great first touch, delivers to Clardy. Clardy takes one touch, takes a rocket off to the side. Great save by Jonathan. So corner kick for Arlington. Great take by Clardy. Well struck mid-net. That ball was headed to the back of the net, forcing the Woburn keep diving off to his left. So Naylor steps in for the corner kick. This is the one he can sort of arc into the net. But we'll see Arlington pushing 7 guys up.
I would like to see this one close to the goalie as opposed to kind of in the far post. And
looks like
yes.
that might have been the play Arlington was drawing up, as Koopman and Keegan both sort of made a run toward that near post, and Naylor might have just gotten a little bit under it. Sam Neal was there, but it was just a little too much. So free kick or a goal kick for Woburn. Curious to see if the temperatures, fans still seem comfortable. Most everybody in shorts and a t-shirt, so it doesn't seem like the temp has dropped too much yet.
Josh, we've got a player from Woburn running around the track. Looks like he just arrived. Just going to be interesting to see what happens there. Number 22 over there. Let's see what happens with him.
All right. So number 22 for Woburn, Juan Medeiros. We'll see. So
it's
Johnny Pang with a take that sails wide.
I'm just interested by the choice. It's important. I got to make it to the game with 25 minutes left. All right, Woburn taking their time over this goal kick.
Hope he did not have detention. Maybe he had a driving hour or PSAT.
Could be.
I'm not sure I think PSATs are coming up for many of the juniors in the area.
Maybe he had a piano recital.
Maybe.
The list is endless. We could go on.
And hopefully he's not the leading goal scorer on Woburn.
Hopefully.
Although maybe that would change the dynamic. And great delivery and a little too hard from Dobro. So Arlington now, after some early pressure by the Tanners, Arlington sort of responding with some pressure of their own.
Looks like
And it looks like Clardy lost the third time tonight. Clardy has lost his shin guard, and Aiden Connolly, maybe to let Clardy collect that, just dishes it out wide. But we have a deep throw in for Woburn.
And it looks like a level playing field here as the sun has gone sort of behind the trees over in the horizon. So the field completely shaded now except for one small corner.
And maybe just we might need another couple minutes to get a little bit lower for shade. Looks like he might just have the last little bit of sun right on his face. But, yes, agreed. Seems like it's definitely not quite as an aggressive disadvantage as it was at the beginning of the half or in the first half. So Quincy pushed from behind. Refs do call that one sort of a delayed call. So Quincy looking for a quick start and gets it off to Rohan on the wing. Rohan cuts back to the middle. Great take by Rohan. He's got a little bit of space. Draws three people, and Naylor off his left foot.
There.
This is a dangerous strike. Great save near post.
Jonathan. They say producer Raj is more of the keeper, the keeper guy, but they say you just never want to get beat on the near post. And Naylor had a perfectly lovely shot right for the near post, and it was chest level, so a little more savable. If it were lower, maybe that would have made it a little more difficult.
And
But
good delivery,
great
picked up
save by
by the
Jonathan.
Woburn keep. And he tries to get the counter going, but Johnny Peng steps up, gets around his man. He's held by his man and delivers to the middle to Quincy, who gets it back to Peng. Great take by Johnny, who was clearly held from our vantage point, and no call from the ref. And the ref calls this sort of softer foul right here on the same guy who pulled Johnny, had held Johnny
11,
there.
and now there was look at Quincy and 11 having words again. As I pointed out in the first half, that guy, whatever his name is, he plays with an edge.
Joao Victor da Silva. So a clear hold that we saw up here on Johnny sort of grabbing his arm, and then the ref sort of maybe make a call. Naylor takes a strike left foot, cleared off the head.
No one there for Arlington, Josh.
And St. Pierre battling against putting the pressure on Shea, who delivers back out wide to Rohan. So Dizio right here. But Rohan gets around him, no problem, and sets it up to Quincy across the field. Quincy, good delivery to Clardy. Great little touch from Clardy up the wing to Naylor. Naylor cuts to the middle, gets it on his left foot, takes a strike, low ball, rebound, Clardy back of the net right there. Well played by Arlington. Well set up right there. The cross on the field, and then Arlington moving it up. Short passes. Naylor takes one touch, delivers a ball on the ground, gets the rebound that Clardy's able to put in the back of the net.
Well, here we go again, Josh. Second half goal for the Spy Ponders. I have to say that well earned. However, I was watching a couple of specific players on Woburn, and it appeared that over on that left side, a player or two might have taken that play off.
Scored by number 11, Peter Clardy.
Initial save made by keeper Jonathan Merles did cough up a bit of a rebound, which Peter Clardy dispatched of. Jonathan Merles having a very strong game up until that point with a slight misstep there.
And Woburn coming back very quickly, very aggressively, but that sail, so Arlington goal kick. So 22 to go, Alex. And again, like you said, Jonathan definitely keeping the Tanners alive in this one. Minutes before had saved another Naylor shot near post that was an excellent opportunity. This one, I think, on the ground, just sort of a dangerous shot by Naylor, honestly, difficult to keep and hold on to that ball. And Clardy just there to scoop up the rebound and deliver it.
Josh, I think for the rest of this game that the Spy Ponders are going to find joy down that right side. As I was saying as you were announcing the score, in the lead up to the goal, I detected a couple of those left-sided players for Woburn who were, let's just call it, playing matador-style defense. on that attack on the Arlington's right, Woburn's left. Let's see if that's something that that Coach Iazio targets here in the last 21 minutes and 23 seconds of the game.
And, we have seen Arlington sort of able to sort of the early in that first half, sort of that controlled possession passing on the ground, short ball, and then looking for the cross where available. Kind of built that whole goal was built out of the backfield. So again, Naylor going for the long cross to Sam Neal, who saves it deep in the Woburn end, cuts back to the middle, and he gets it back. So great battle from Sam Neal. 2, 3 guys, gets around, takes a strike on his right foot, and sends it across the goal.
And again, that attack originated on the Arlington right with the cross ball over to Sam Neal.
And so going back to the game we called with Coach Page, Alex, as well, what Coach Page had sort of lamented a little bit was the boys being able to get that ball out of the middle third into the attacking third. And so far tonight, and especially these last few minutes, Arlington doing a very nice job transitioning between the thirds of the field and really looking for the open guy and making opportunities come to life here.
And Horace Kennedy and Dennis Keneally on.
Sam Neal with a delivery to Keneally. Can Keneally keep it in? He just can't use his speed. And Gideon Lawrence also in the game.
Yeah, Nate Dobro and one other player, I think Quincy Cotter off. I was going to say to that regard, I've been very impressed in the sample size with Nate Dobro's ability to make the longer pass. After receiving a ball in the middle.
And here's Dizio, gets around Koopman, but Koopman comes back. Well played by Koopman after getting beat by Dizio. He shields, and Dizio fighting, comes up with the ball, delivers into the middle. Dangerous spot right here. And number 10, not De Silva, that's 11, sends it high and wide right there. So number 10 for Woburn sends it high and wide. Neil Tulichin.
And look at the teamwork from the ball handlers there. The near side ball handler going over and giving Tom Clorty a bit of a break there.
Oh, look at that. David, of course. David, again, fascinating to see how far he would travel in a single day.
And he's traveling. He'll travel for the women's game, for the girls' game too, I believe.
Sam Neal having a great shift right now, putting lots of pressure, getting lots of opportunities. And here's Rohan, picks it up, and he's got a little bit of room and sort of battling. Delivers to Naylor in the middle. Naylor resets wisely to Koopman in the back. And Koopman looking long ball to Sam Neal and gets it around to Clorty. But Clorty, as the Woburn line stepped up, Clorty just a step offside.
I don't know, Josh. He looked on to me.
I would agree.
Up here from our perch
it looked
in the
like
sky.
he was onside from the strike of the ball. And that's the thing I think is very difficult to call down there. The way, and Clorty loses his shin guard again. Tom Clorty, you may want to get your son some different shin guards. Although maybe that's Peter's trick. I do think this is a game-breaking record for Peter this season. That might have been 5.
Oh, is that right?
I think that might have been number 5.
We've lost count.
It's definitely at least 4, but I'm fairly confident that is the 5th loss of the shin guard by Peter Clorty. Keneally battling here. Gets it to the middle of Lawrence. Lawrence a little light top, and here's Dizio. Dangerous play here. He took a strike before and goes wide of the net. Dizio getting himself a couple of opportunities here. So again, number 13 right there, Carlin Dizio, player to watch for the remaining 17.
Very impressive. He doesn't look dangerous, but he certainly plays dangerous.
And he's demonstrated the speed to get around a Rohan as well to get and deliver that ball to his right foot. So if he can get that ball on his right foot, clearly a dangerous player. Fortunately, the Arlington defense doing a nice job pushing him further out wide, so he has fewer options on net.
And 22 has come straight from his piano recital right to the center midfield. Let's see if that he makes a difference in this game.
So Naylor pulled down right here. So this is the chippiness that is often I think if you talk to years back, some of the chippiness that is kind of expected in this game, especially late in a tight game. Look at Rohan getting around. Rohan steps up. Naylor dropped to the ground again after it looks like it was a sort of a chokehold on Naylor there by number 7, Marcio Castro. So Marcio Castro looks like he's having some words for Naylor. Gideon Lawrence trying to calm things down. Not sure if, if going back to the tape, it did look like Naylor sort of holding his neck there. It looked like he might have had.
Yeah, he got hog-tied.
And
horse-collared, I mean.
So then the ref is bringing
he's going to drop the ball to Woburn at the spot where he deemed that play was stopped.
And there's number 22, fresh in the game, sends it deep, and Johnny Pang heads it back over to the touchline. Seeing the girls' team warm up behind the Ponders net here, it is remarkable. They are very much in unison.
Very lockstep.
It's well done. Very impressive.
Synchronized calisthenics.
Synchronized warm-ups.
Yep.
So hoping here, Dennis Keneally coming up a little sore. Hoping nothing happens here. Woburn players saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. Refs hopefully continue to try to get control of this game. Make sure nothing too aggressive happens here. And Koopman delivers that ball deep. And Keneally gets it over to Sam Neal, who gets around his man, number 7 there, and around number 15. And gets it off to Rand. Rand takes a left-footed shot that just sails over the far corner. Nicely taken by Rand. Making some of the Woburn fans gasp there. So Woburn sort of fighting for a win here, try to get their season ending on a positive note.
I'd say if Woburn's going to have any joy here, it's going to be through the middle, through the strong play of their center forward, Saint Pierre. Is that his name?
Saint Pierre, number 20, and number 13, Dizio.
Yeah. And 11 as well is proving to be a very skillful and
great
energetic
drop
player.
by Sam Neal, who left it for Johnny Pang, and looks like, or not Johnny Pang, I think that was Harris who made the run in and sort of tackled by the Woburn number 7. So number 7 in the back, Marcio Castro for Woburn, sort of making a lot of plays in the back, and I guess it's a free kick for Woburn.
Yeah, I don't recall the play. It might have been an offsides. Regardless, here comes the ball. St. Pierre challenges for it.
Harris plays it back. And dangerous drop right there. Dizio almost picks it up.
And if
Johnny
they can
Pang
go
to the
quickly,
middle.
they'll have numbers.
And right here's Harris. Gets that stripped. And Woburn with 4 guys drops off to St. Pierre, but Rohan in the middle there covers. And number 10 here for Woburn. Number 10, Neil Tulichin.
Held by Jacob Naylor there, not called. And then another foul.
Another sort of foul not called right there. Ref saying you might have tried to sell that one a little too much. So again, you hate to see these games sort of get to this place right here. So Sam Neal should be onside, but that one is a little heavy by Dennis Keneally. He recognizes that. So Arlington protecting a 1-0 lead at the moment, 13 to go in the second half.
Bit of a break in the action here. Not sure exactly what's going on, but
number 7, Marcio Castro, who earlier after sort of a back and forth with Naylor, saw him sort of. I think he kind of hit his foot, might have hit on the ground or on the ball or something. So he's been sort of limping after that about 5 minutes ago. So it looks like he finally sort of was a little much and wanted to come off the field. So there's 22 back in the game. Gideon Lawrence blocks that, goes out.
And exchanges words.
Sam, the trainer, taking a look at the Woburn player at Castro. So here's Dizio. Harris called for the push in the back. So free kick, number 8 taking this. Amin Asobini.
Well, good to see him taking it and not in there. He came close to scoring in the first half on a free header in the zone.
So delivers low. Naylor clears it. That's going to go straight to the Woburn keep. Plays it off his feet. Sends it right back. Over the head of Connolly. So dangerous setup here. St. Pierre takes a strike. And that is going to sail past the end line. So free kick, Arlington back line saying slow it down, guys, calm. Saw Connolly and Koopman sort of pushing their hands down. And Fernando Barrientos coming in for Gideon Lawrence. Great to see Fernando. Fernando, an excellent possession player. I think in a situation like this, somebody able to control the ball the way Fernando does is going to be an excellent asset to have late in the game like this. Rand delivers to Naylor. Naylor, one touch, delivers a left-footed strike, just sails over the net, but I think it went over the back screen as well, so might have missed more by more than I thought. But
good strike over the net. He did have options in space on the right wing there, but you can't fault him for going for it. He's scored many goals from that position this
nice
year.
entry right here. And Dizio, two bounces off his head, gets it back to the middle. And Rohan, good, nice little delivery up to Koopman.
Yeah, it looks like Koopman might have got it with a handball there.
Woburn was
Keneally streaking down the wing.
So where's Naylor going to go with this one? He takes it forward. He brings it wide and stopped right there. Good step by the Woburn defender, number 25. And that ball is sent up. So here's Dizio right here. Again, one head up, and he's, I think, called offside. Again, well, from when the ball was struck, that's a tough call right there.
Yeah, not much of an uproar from the Woburn fans, but I've seen a couple calls going Arlington's way in the last 5 or 10 minutes.
And 10 to go. Koopman sends that one, trying to get Rand on the far side. Rand, nice little header. And here is number 10, Neil Tilichen. Gets it to 25. And Fernando gets the ball on his foot in the middle, delivers wide to Johnny Peng. Johnny Peng misfired up to Rand, but Peng is back against St. Pierre, picks it off. St. Pierre deflects Connolly's.
That's beautifully taken out of the air there.
Well taken by Harris right there. And Harris back in the middle and speeds along, delivers to Fernando. Fernando cuts back. Again, this is the time where you want Fernando sort of controlling that ball possession right on the foot. And right here, Arlington back to nice possession game. Sam Neal gets a little push in the back, but no call. And Harris right in the middle of the field, and he sees Sam Neal, sends it up, but well blocked by the Woburn defender there. Fernando scrapping to get that ball, can't quite get it. Woburn resets in the back, number 8 sends it up, and Harris manages to, deflected by Harris there to Rohan, who gets around Dizio.
Harris with a nice few minutes of play here.
And over to Rand off to Naylor. Naylor turns, gets it on his left foot, sends Dennis Keneally deep, and just in front of Keneally, a great opportunity where Keneally would have had a lot of space. So looks like I think it's going to be a throw for Woburn. With 8.5 to go, Woburn subbing in. Looks like number 16 and not sure, number 5 back in the game. So deep throw for Woburn. Arlington keeping some pressure on here. They have Rand with a lot of space on the far side. See if they're able to quickly cross it there. Dizio picks it up, holds it. Fernando breaks that up and just off the foot of Keneally. So again, a throw in for Woburn.
5, Kyle Silva back into the game for Woburn.
So Woburn plays it back. Sort of some high light pressure from Arlington. Sam Neal going around. Good step by Harris to break up that counter from Woburn.
He's playing that 6 position to a the way that you draw it up at the moment, Josh.
And
He's plugging up those balls and making himself available for passes, turning nicely, spraying the ball around, distributing.
And I'm
Nice
still
display.
still impressed with that one that
Oh,
sort
yeah.
of first touch. That was just a beautiful take right there by Harris. And so really, really good to see him contributing right now. We haven't seen a ton of Harris this season, so really, really nice to see his presence and the way he's sort of helping direct the middle of the field, like you were saying. Rohan, nice little get around his man. And number 25 for Woburn, having a solid game back there, breaking up a lot of runs by Arlington. And there's Fernando. Fernando in 21. Fernando taken out from below, but number 22 sort of recognized that, might have hit him a little hard, so picked him up, helped pick him up, which is a nice show of sportsmanship. Well played by Keneally to get back and break that entry pass up. And here's number 22.
Arlington sitting back now, all the players behind the ball.
With 6.5 to go. So here's Sam Neal making a run, and we got Rand making a break, following up the wing with him. Sam Neal ahead of his man, delivers to Rand. To Rand. Great cut by Rand. Looks like he's got his left foot over to Keneally in the middle. Drops for Naylor. Broken up by number 25 again. Well played by Arlington right there. That should have an offside if it was coming. Shea comes out. And we've got just under 6 minutes to play. A really well-executed counter by Arlington there. Unfortunately, sort of broken up by number 25 of Woburn. So Morris Kalima, who's having, again, I think he's broken up several runs by Arlington and managed to break that one up as well. So, well played by the Woburn back, but really impressive sort of sequence for Arlington right there.
And Luke Hedlund, I believe, coming on. Aiden Conley coming off. Looks like he got a little shaken up. And Peter Clordy about to check in, too, with 5 minutes and 19
Koopman
seconds.
sends it deep right to the Woburn keep. And look at Fernando scooping this up, gets around his guy, keeps the ball in, and should be an Arlington throw. No, it says off Fernando, the ref says.
Yeah, the dink-a-dink. It went off him and then him, the other player, and then him again.
And Kalima sends that up. And Rohan couldn't quite get it, so dangerous play here for Woburn with 5 to go. Clock is stopped on the board, and there's a turn right here. Luke Hedlund saves his man, takes a shot just over. Well struck by number 10, Talachen right there. Well struck just over the crossbar of the Arlington net. Shea apparently taking his time. Peter Clordy coming in for Dennis Keneally. So Woburn late in the game looking for the equalizer, nearly got it there. Shea looked like he was in position, but that might have been able to scooch over his hand, and it did get over the crossbar, fortunately. So goal kick for Arlington. Shea plays it short after the sub. And
he's got Rohan. He does
Koopman
manage to get it to an area where 3 Arlington players, but not handled by Arlington.
Naylor deflects it out of bounds, and Kalima to take the throw in. So sounds like the fan base is getting loud. So here we have a throw for Arlington with what should be about 4 minutes to go. Rohan looking for options, sends it up to Clordy, who tries to get it to Sam Neal, who was onside. Sam Neal turns, and
he got taken out there.
Got taken out, but no call. And right here.
Gotta love the attitude, though. Some players with a play like that, they'd get up and sulk, and Sam just kept on going. It's an admirable trait in a player.
Rohan with a great delivery off the Woburn clearance up to Naylor. Naylor got it back to Harris, and that broken up by Naylor, by Woburn. So Shea, after Koopman and Hedlund both shield number 10, Talachan from Woburn from getting another strike at the ball. Shea's able to pick it up, and Rohan up the line, brings it back to the middle, delivers over to Harris. So we should have about 3 to go. And here's Johnny Pang making a run, and Dizio crossed the field, trying to stay on Pang right there. And that ball just out on the foot of Gideon Lawrence after the delivery from Johnny Pang. Right here, Sam Neal keeping the pressure on. trying to force Woburn for the turnover here.
And they get it.
And there's Naylor, delivers it deep.
And Arlington kind of mid-block here. Sam working hard up top, but the rest of the players are off in a nice structure.
And that ball's going up. Oh, great step by Rohan.
Yep, and if that ball had bounced in a slightly different angle, it would be claimed by Arlington players, but they come up with it anyhow.
Nice touch by Fernando and Harris, Harris delivers a one-touch over to Naylor in the middle there. It goes out Arlington's way here. Rohan plays it back to Koopman. Koopman launches that ball up a little bit.
I like that play, and that's right. This defense can be put under pressure right now.
Arlington with 5 guys up deep in the attacking third. Harris sort of lost that ball right there, but comes back on D. Johnny Pang picks that up, prevents the cross.
Comes up with a loose ball. Huge 50-50 win for Johnny.
Great ball by Gideon Lawrence over to the foot of Naylor. So we got 3 Arlington defenders, 6 Woburn players are back. Naylor gets it to his left foot, bringing it to the middle, gets it into to Neal. Naylor with a left foot strike off the crossbar. Beautiful sequence for Arlington. Well played, well struck by Naylor.
That was a doozy.
That is as close as you can get without putting the ball in the back of the net.
Just
right there.
Textbook example of winning off of a press, 1 or 2 passes, a skillful layoff from Sam Neal to Naylor, who put wood on it and then hit the wood.
And definitely really impressed with that layoff by Sam Neal. I think a lot of the Woburn players were thinking he's going to take that, and really perfectly positioned for him. Shea scoops up a tricky ball that's bouncing right at his foot.
And it's 45 seconds according to my clock.
And Shea picks it up right there. That was a tricky shot. I think Shea able to handle it, but sort of bouncing right at his feet. Potential for that ball to sneak by him. Still sort of shaken from that Naylor strike. So Sam Neal gets the ball and keeps the ball, gets around number 8. Sam Neal gets around 3 guys.
Just take it to the corner. Yep.
And you can hear the Arlington players yelling corner. I think we might have some mics on the field getting ready for the girls' game as well, and able to pick up some of the sound on the field, which is fun for us. So right there, my watch just buzzed 5 minutes, Alex.
Yep, this should be over shortly. Gideon can't throw in.
Gideon looking at his teammates saying, guys, I've got a broken hand.
Not a lot of sympathy from Fernando there,
Gideon brings it to the corner, launches it, and we got an Arlington corner kick, and that's the game right there. So Arlington again, Alex, the close battle, 1-0. Arlington, that is their 9th or 10th clean sheet, I believe. So that is their 9th clean sheet of the season. But comes down solid defense from Arlington. But again, a very tight game for the Ponders.
And again, Josh, coming in, when you looked at the rundown with the power rankings and the records and the standings and all of that, you thought maybe this might be a game where the Spy Ponders would find joy, but all the credit in the world goes to Woburn. They wound up tying the Spy Ponders once last year and this year. Clearly the kind of team that gives Arlington a problem, and Arlington gets away with a 1-0 victory. I'd say well earned, but yet even so, 1-0. Good for these boys. That's tournament style soccer. You got to win the game somehow, and today they won it with defense and really kind of a nice play down the wing, which was poorly defended, and then a slight misstep by the goalkeeper. But 1-0 Spy Ponders.
And Alex, your vote for man of the match tonight. It's a tough one.
I would have to give it to somebody on the defense, and let's just default it to the keeper for that, because the defense did change around. Johnny Peng got hurt, and I believe that there was some fluidity in the back line. So I'm going to say the keeper.
And I would say Shea had a great game, came up with some big saves. I would also give a nod to Harris for this game. I thought the way he was able in this second half to sort of maintain a lot of control and possession in the midfield and sort of set up some of these plays. Really impressed with the play of Harris this evening. And coming up shortly, I think we've got another excellent ACMi production for the varsity girls game. And we just want to thank everybody, ACMi, for coming out. And Alex, thank you as always. It's been a wonderful home season. And thank you, everybody. And we will see you shortly for the girls.